Hello, John. How's it going?
Hi.
Happy birthday,
Good.
Jonathan.
Yeah, thank you.
Jonathan
about a month.
Sherin,
That's
creator
me.
of a little-known series called Basterdz and the much superior series Seinfeld the Hedgehog. Lost to
Yeah,
Time.
classic. I still have those somewhere.
You still have
Yeah, I'm sure
Seinfeld
I
the
do.
Hedgehog? Well, that's awesome. Yeah, so the whole thing with you is that you start on the Newgrounds site, like all of us,
hmm
on the old group that we had,
hmm
but then you really wanted to become like a cool old school cartoon guy, essentially.
I mean, yeah, like that. I wanted to fucking work like in the industry, I guess, for a time, or rather, that was kind of like my goal. I don't know. It felt like a pretty easy choice because I was like, all I really ever wanted to do was make cartoons, and I, felt like that was kind of the direction my life was going. At the end of high school, I was like, oh, I'll go work on TV cartoons, and then college was cool, but I found that I didn't particularly. I don't know, something about working in the industry professionally. It just kind of like robs the joy out of making art, So I just started pivoting, I guess.
Now that makes
So
sense.
now I'm back to back to the basics, so to speak. I'm just back to making fucking Flash cartoons.
Yeah, it does feel like that. No matter how much the amount of education, I'm just seeing a lot of people who are like quitting the industry and just doing some other stuff, and pretty much their animation work is just on the side.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like the industry right now is a fucking joke, and it's like if you, like, I don't know. I think change has to come from outside of it. Like I feel like the way that those structures operate are just like not. They're so stuck in their ways. It's like not going to be something that changes. It's going to be something that I mean, you're literally kind of seeing that with like the kind of explosion of like indie stuff. Where it's like,
the animation industry is still very stuck to like the assembly line model, extremely bureaucratic.
Well, we're at a point too where it's like we were talking about this like before the fucking stream, just like the evolution of technology or whatever. Like we're at a point where fucking 10 years ago, 15 years ago or whatever, like what you're capable of creating just like with your computer and a Cintiq, like you can make shit that like rivals studio productions with just like you and your friends and a fucking internet connection, Like,
yeah, that is true. Anything from Blender to all those type of stuff, that is true.
Yeah, and it's like, so to me, if you want to make a career out of it or whatever, and like, you just want to pay the bills and like make cartoons, like, that's your bag. But like, if you want to like make shit, I don't really see the point in like going through that pipeline anymore, like giving away the autonomy to your ideas, because it's like the power is in your hands. You have like everything you need to just like make some cool shit. Like,
that is true, and also I think that would apply, even though it's different. I think that also applies to a little bit of freelance as well. Not the pipeline, not the studio pipeline thing, but the fact that you're just giving out your time and your attention to essentially something that is continuously less profitable, exponentially less profitable.
Yeah, freelancing is rough. I don't know. I got mad respect for people that can like make that work, but like it's shit's hard.
I went at it for 10
I mean, and
years.
yeah, I mean that's why people go the studio route or whatever, is because it's like there's a little bit more kind of what do you call it, like assured paychecks coming in on that. I don't know. Freelance is rough. I still like to take like client gigs sometimes, but normally it's just if it's something that like kind of seems fun,
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't accept most things. I wouldn't not accept most things. It's some people just have no creativity. Just go and press a button on fucking Midjourney or something. Please go get away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. It's completely different now. But you.
But I say that in a good way. I mean, like it is completely different. Like I feel like I mean for better and for worse. But I think it is. I don't know, just again, you look at internet animation of 2012 versus now, and like the level of production quality you're seeing is just substantially increased, and it is really one of those things where it's like you can literally just fucking do it yourself, like we're and we don't know how long we'll be able to do that for, right? Like
Yeah.
With how fast technology increases, we could be at like a really cool sweet spot to just like make some really fucking cool stuff.
Yeah, and then 2 years later, everyone just literally press a button and there's a movie.
Yeah. So it's like strike while the iron's hot, like do it now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, if we had known we were the last generation, we would have done things differently.
Yeah, definitely. But
anyway,
is what it is.
I remember seeing 2 cartoons you did at SVA. One of them was the 2 cats. Hopefully I can edit them in this recording. The 2 cats who are eating tuna or some shit, and then they go and they become really popular, and they start giving them like caviar, and they're like, this shit sucks, and then they just go back to the trash can. That one was funny, and that one was very like, what did it look like? Did it look like some John K stuff? A little bit.
I was like really heavily into like my kind of Ren and Stimpy worship era at that point. I feel like in terms of like for what for kind of the amount of time we did it in, and for the fact that I hadn't really made a proper cartoon in years, there is part of me where I'm like still kind of happy with how it came out, but when I watched that one not too long ago, and my whole body like cringed up because I was like, this is just so derivative. Like it just starts with the Ren and Stimpy production music, and I was like, man, like I was really, I mean, I still think it's a solid tune, I guess, but I felt like I don't know, people harp so much on like finding your style, right? As like that, people talk about that as like kind of an early thing when they start
you start by imitation and then you evolve from there.
Yeah, it's like I don't feel like I really found my style until late. Like I don't know, people expect you start drawing and you kind of get your style within a year or two, but it's like by that point I had been making cartoons since I was a fucking kid, and I still hadn't found my style,
Yeah,
like there was
absolutely.
I like it's not totally like a one-for-one Ren and Stimpy. Like I definitely took it in my own direction a little bit, but I feel like that was I always try to wear my influences on my sleeve, but I feel like with that one it was pretty like it was pretty just like I showed it after we finished it. There was like a party thing at SVA, and they screened it, and this guy that I had never met just came over and was like, "So you're a big Ren and Stimpy fan, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah."
And then, yeah, I remember at that point you like evolved artistically, but yeah, there was a very specific style you went for, and then right after that cartoon, you made a really trippy one with was it with a rat? What was it, John? Remember me?
Yeah, that was my thesis film. That was like the last cartoon I made at college. He was an eye, which is like a weird kind of lemur. My design doesn't really resemble an eye, but that was kind of my thesis advisor when I was designing the characters from it. He was like, choose a really specific weird animal and just draw it over and over and over again until it doesn't even resemble that animal.
Oh, that's anymore. That's an interesting exercise.
It was fun. That was like out of everything I did at college, like that was the most fun thing I think I did. Like because I had other classes, but there was no real pressure. It was kind of just like a year to really like fucking hone in a cartoon. So I was just like studying like all these kinds of weird animals and doing like like life studies of drawing them and then caricaturing them in all these different ways, and I don't know, just really just like studying a lot of kind of cool art outside my comfort zones and trying to kind of make a kind of an eclectic mix of like all these different things that I liked at the time.
I just went to try and check this cartoon on the Flickr Nick page. The last cartoon that's in there is Fountain of Youth. I guess it's not in there.
Yeah, no, that's a bad one. That one sucks.
I love.
All my new shit's just under my real name.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not as good as Creamy Italian, but
yeah, I mean, what can be?
Well, and all of this stuff evolved into Rat Bastards.
Yeah, kinda.
And I just want to ask, so once I see Rat Bastards, I also see just these videos of grindcore bands that's, I guess, you invited to play in the suburbs? Well, what is like this whole mix between reality, like music, and your cartoon?
Yeah, that's I don't know. It's kind of cool that things evolved in that way. With the first one, because I with everything I do, I kind of try and analyze like what I like and what I don't like, and then I try to like, make the things I don't like into something. I figure out what I don't like and try to, figure it out. And something I've always kind of disliked about making shit is like the release of it. I always feel like it's really underwhelming to just like spend so much of your time and energy on something and then you just kind of like click a button and then it's online. I don't know. Like I missed the kind of human element of college in a way where it's like they would get together these screenings and stuff like that of people's cartoons, and like I feel
yeah, that is very interesting. And very
at the end of the day, that's like what I don't know. Like that's kind of why you make art, right? It's like to connect with other people in a way. So I was like, I don't like releasing. I've never enjoyed really the release of things. How can I turn that into something more fun? Especially because Rat Bastards 1 was kind of like this huge undertaking passion project thing that I was doing, and the idea came to me where I was like, I could just get. So I had been going to a lot of local shows at that point, and I was like, I could just get together some bands, premiere at a venue and screen the cartoon. I originally had the idea. I remember where I was when I had all this idea too, and it all just kind of felt like a pipe dream. Like I was like, this would be like too big of an undertaking to do. But in the first episode, they're on the Thrash forums or whatever, and they're like spamming the boards with like all these lies about the Wyatt Weasel character. And I was like, I wanted it to make it even more interactive beyond it just being a live show. I was like, it'd be cool to like code like an old school like HTML site or something like that, where you could like, I don't know, like making the release of it like kind of into part of the art in a way. That was
like a GeoCities type of thing.
Yeah.
But, there's a new thing called NeoCities now that is like a throwback at GeoCities that they help you out make this old school looking website. That type of thing.
I've looked into that. Yeah, and I was thinking like make a Thrash forums like replica where you could like interact on it, and then maybe on the day of, like, you could find, like, a live stream of the fucking performance. I don't know. That all kind of got away from me. That, like, booking the event itself was, like, way too much stress and hassle, just even of itself. So I never got around to that part of it. But, that was the idea. And then, and then it just kind of happened. I just started hitting up, local bands and being like, hey,
I like the posters that you've got. One of those is, like, this painted version of the... What is the character that has the longer character? What is his name?
Oh, Jay?
Yeah, Jay. That's
the one. The flyer for the last one?
Yeah. That's painting.
That's
that one.
That's Lars. I'll link his Newgrounds or something. He has like the coolest fucking art style of all time. Like I wanted to get him to do kind of the credit sequence on this current episode, but he's got too much going on right now. But his style is like, and that's not just like me hyping him up because he's my friend. It's just like his style like strikes such a specific kind of overlap of like all the things that I love in art, and it's so fucking cool.
Yeah, I think I saw a little bit of his stuff when she sent me. Sackhead strikes it out. Okay. Yeah. This fucking guy. Yeah, I've seen this. It's incredible.
Yeah, I realized too, like I had seen his art like in college, like years before meeting him, and I had like saved it thinking it was like another artist. And then, once we met and I realized I was like, oh, wait a minute, you did this like one drawing I had saved like years before.
Interesting. So yeah, by the way, did you know there's another cartoon, like a failed pilot called Rat Bastard?
Yeah, I get somebody asks me about it like once a month.
Okay.
Typically.
So it's a spiritual successor.
It's cool. It is really cool. Like I'm gonna pull it up right now. Yeah, I think this was like an MTV show or something, right? Or it was.
Yeah. It was supposed to be one, but it never got the limelight. Never got the green light.
Yeah, it's cool. It's been a minute since I've actually watched it, but the thumbnail for it is like burned in my brain. It's because I get it linked to me so much.
Yeah, so why Rat Bastards on top of everything else? It's just because you're super into grindcore?
Well, let me think, actually. I did... Yeah, I don't know. Rat Bastards is just kind of like a synthesis, again, of like all the different stuff that I liked. I came up with the idea for a class in college, just like... It was a series development class, right? Which I don't know. I feel like I was never really much of like an ideas guy. I just kind of liked like actually making the stuff. But that class was cool because it kind of forced me to think a little bit more about like characters and location and stuff. And I made this idea that I was really on about, and then it just kind of like once I graduated, I just kind of was like I never really intended to make a cartoon with it. I really just kind of made the kind of series Bible like for that class, but I did like the idea. And then, yeah, like, I don't know, once I got out and I had been working in the industry for a little bit, and I was just like, I fucking hated all this. And I was like, I watched CKY2K, the Bam Margera movie, one night after work. I was like, I had been animating this fucking shitty kid show all day, and I was like,
you were doing cleanup? Or animation? What were you doing for that show?
It was like rigged animation.
Rigged. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, at the end of the day, I was just like exhausted and like pissed off, and I watched CKY2K, and I was just like, man, like this is what it's about. Like this is it. Like you just fucking like something about that like really just captured. It reminded me like like that's what this is about. Like that's why I fucking loved animation. It's just like making some fun shit with your friends, like making the shit that you want to see exist. And that's, I guess, what it is like I just my kind of core tenet with Rat Bastards has always just been kind of like making the shit that I feel like I would want to watch that I'm not really seeing. But yeah, it does just kind of Rat Bastards in particular. I guess in answer to your question, like, yeah, I don't know. I got my funny little rat characters that I draw. That's just the shit I like drawing. But it's like I take influence from like, kind of growing up in the South. I've got a lot of fucking love for like old 2000s, technology and nostalgia and, that sort of culture. And yeah, obviously like old metalcore, like, that was, yeah, just kind of throwing all the things I kind of, or rather, I guess like what are the stories that are, or like what's the vision that's like specific to me that I can tell,
Mm-hmm.
I guess is what I'm
Would you say that those three characters have a little bit of you in them, each one of them?
I feel like it's inevitable with kind of any sort of thing like that. I would say certain aspects of each of them definitely. Like I try with each character I write though, I try and like that's my biggest thing with Rat Bastards is like I just try and like caricature the sort of like specific eccentricities of like the way people behave in like a funny way, hopefully. So it's like there's a little bit of me in some of them, and then there's like just other like people I've met or like just weird interactions I've had with strangers. I'll take influence from that and like I don't know, try and play it up in a way that makes it like a cartoon.
That's like a way to bridge two things into one. I'd say that those characters are kind of like ego, superego, and id in a way.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I definitely, I feel like, have kind of the like kind of obnoxiousness of Rodney a lot of the time, and I have a lot of the like more like kind of neuroticness of Wade too.
Yeah, and then,
and I also have the wanting to sleep all day of Jay sometimes. So I don't know. It's probably a little bit in all of them.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like you said, it's inevitable every time you just do something like a story.
Yeah, like a little bit of the creator, I feel like, bleeds into everything.
Yeah, that's great.
I had
like those type of things.
Yeah. Again, I just try and like. That's kind of one of my other core things about it, is it's just like when writing the characters and like the world, I try and I don't know. I try and base as much of it as I can off of like observation, I suppose. Like, I feel like one of the things of why a lot of cartoons just like don't hit is because they're just kind of this like, they're only. I mean, same with film or I'm sure comics or anything. They're only referencing like other things of that same genre or media, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
cartoons influenced by only other cartoons specifically. So I try and take a lot of inspiration from real life as much as I can. And just
Did you ever see some guy going, "Let's stop, everyone, calm down," at an empty space?
This'll only take a second.
You mean like the first what is it, like in the first episode where they're playing in the parking lot or whatever?
No, in the second episode when Jay just goes to get fast food and everyone calm down. There's nobody there. So funny.
Well, I mean, it's like I said, it's like little stuff. Like with that, I was remembering, like in high school, like again because I live out in the fucking sticks or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Or if you didn't have a car, like you were kind of fucked. And I remember I was at like some kid's birthday party. I was probably in like 8th grade or something. So I guess it wasn't high school, but I just remembered watching this guy like walk up to the drive-thru and like go through it. So it's like little moments like that have like kind of stuck with me. And then I mixed that drive-thru interaction with like the drive-thru fucking Taco Bell that I would hit after work sometimes, where it's like the.
Oh, I see. Yeah. It's now that you say it, it does have that kind of flair.
That's what I.
You moved to New York and you were like super content being there because it was all close to each other and stuff like that, with things happening all the time. So I don't know. Yeah, I do. I guess I do see that type of contrast appearing.
Well, I try and it's another big thing with it is I grew up out here, and something I've always kind of, or rather I think kind of it made me have more of an appreciation for kind of where I grew up after having lived in New York.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I kind of, I don't know. I the only time you see the American South represented in media is if it's it's just fucking caricaturing everybody as a bunch of dumb hicks, or it's like they're doing some like antebellum South type shit. You don't really see like, from my perspective, I feel like you pretty rarely see like authentic appraisals of like what the American South was like, because it's like most of the people writing that kind of media or whatever are people that grew up here and then moved to LA or New York or whatever, or maybe they never even like lived here anyway. They're just like LA writers, writing what they assume the South is like, having met like 2 people from it ever. So I try and capture again like some of the sort of specific character of like what living down here is like, and I feel like I don't necessarily always hit home on it. I feel like that's, if there's one thing I feel like I want to get better at, is that it's like not specific enough, or like, yeah, I don't know, or that I don't know. What were you gonna say?
Well, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that this is more inspired from real life than really other cartoons. That's pretty cool. But there's a lot of new animations, indie animations coming out, and I think yours is kind of lumped into a lot of them as some of people's favorites, I believe. And
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I remember that guy who made the fan art of Breach Kids and Rat Bastards. Speaking of Breach Kids, you also voice Mo, the big slinky guy who thinks he's hot shit. And that's a lot of people's favorite character. I mean, it's mine.
It's flattering that people. I don't know. It's cool that people have fucked with Rat Bastards at all, and it's with how fucking Rich Kids has taken off. It's been very cool. It's. I don't know. I'm glad people think it's funny. I just kind of say I say bullshit.
Yeah, you told me they just allow you to say whatever.
We have like a general sort of structure, and with certain episodes, we have like we just recorded a new one the other day. It's like we have, Mike and Adam have like their general sort of story structure and like script, and they'll have like specific lines that they want you to hit. But it's like a kind of hybrid improvisation. A lot of the Mo shit is just kind of me. You just like get into character and just kind of let it roll is how I try and do it. Just you like sort of get into a flow state and just like even if it's like totally not like how how the script is going to go or like how you feel like the structure is like going like just following like what I feel like the character would actually do in the circumstance, I guess. And then they take it and like edit it and like turn it into, because like I don't know, we do those record sessions for like hours. And
really? So it's one of those things where you pick up the best.
Yeah, like Adam typically cuts it together into like he will cut bits and pieces of like all of the different kind of records that we do, and then kind of turn it into like a concise sort of narrative.
Yeah, rep first,
which is like, cool.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I loved a lot of the jokes that came out from that character. I wonder how many of them just came out on the spot, but it's pretty cool.
Thanks. It's fun. It's really. I never would have considered doing. Like, I don't know. I voice acted when I was younger and stuff, but like that wasn't a thing I really thought much about nowadays. And then they just asked me to do it, and it's just been so fun.
Did I ever ask you to voice a character or something?
I think so. I think I voiced in something you did.
Yeah,
I think I was in the Naruto one.
Oh, you're right. That was the Naruto one that no one will ever see. Did you do something for Speedo as well? Because I think at some point we all did.
This is like very stupid. I voiced in I didn't know what gain was on a microphone when I was younger, and he asked me to voice the bully in Skate or Die.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I did, but I didn't know what gain was, and I was like recording right next to my microphone, so like all of it was like blown out and sounded like shit, so he didn't end up using it.
Okay, makes sense. Jesus. That did happen a lot. Remember Zurel when he had like an entire show not happen because one guy had like a mic problem?
No.
What was that? Like the Babies cartoon he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, one of my guys does not have a good microphone. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to delay this for 7 years.
That's what's, I think Mike for Bridge Kids, he voices Lars. I think for the longest time he was just recording his lines on his phone or something.
Oh.
Which, again, that kind of, I feel like with Bridge Kids being like a little more like kind of low-key, like improvisational, like it kind of works.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super dry. It does feel like improvisational at certain points, definitely. So yeah, when is the collab from Bridge Kids and Rat Bastards?
We've talked about it. I pitched the idea.
Oh, really? I was
like
joking.
a fucking like a year and a half ago, or maybe more at this point. Time fucking flies. I was like, I want to do. Like, I do a Bridge Kids episode in my style, and you guys do a Rat Bastards in your style. And I was like, we'll do that once I finish all of the Rat Bastards episodes I have on my plate, and which I am learning is going to take a really fucking long time. But I was saying I wanted to do, like, just a really because Bridge Kids is more like, the characters are it's more like dialogue driven,
Mm-hmm.
Like I wanted to go like really balls to the wall with like the, like really lean into that like fucking Ren and Stimpy type shit where it's just like really exaggerated expressions and stuff like that, and like really play up them like moving around and be, like, and then in turn see what they would do with the Rat Bastards characters like in their style. I don't know if we'll ever get around to that. I think it'd be fun.
I just thought like a cameo or something. That'll be fun. Just something small.
There's there's like references to both of them in each other, I believe. I think. I
don't think I saw it. If you can send a picture of that, then later that would be cool.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point where I include a ton of Easter eggs like that, but it's like because I'm working on Rat Bastards episode 3 and 4 at the same time. So like there's a lot of shit that I like include and then don't remember until somebody else brings it up. But I'm pretty sure I stuck some kind of Easter egg in episode 1. I'm looking for it.
Yeah, it's one of those things like they don't even notice. You just draw like something on the background.
Yeah.
They don't even notice it's there. Yeah. Remember that cartoon I sent you recently with Peter Griffin playing Call of Duty?
Yeah. What was that?
Peter Griffin gaming, where he just goes, everyone who plays against me is a. Yeah. I was meant to check this guy's channel. This legit remembers me, of what? Remember the channel we used to have together, Dumbasses?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I can see that. Just like
it's the exact same type of fucking humor. He inherited the will.
It's really a shame that all that got taken down. I mean, honestly, maybe probably a good thing, but that
was like a million cancelings.
Well, it's more just like, I don't know, I don't know, for the nostalgia, it'd always be fun to like revisit that, but
I do hate that I didn't download enough of those videos. There was some that were so funny. Some that I remember just cracking myself laughing.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun just fucking, I don't know, just making whatever stupid shit we felt like.
Sometimes I think, like, even though I have more important callings now, like, it was just so insanely fun making the most batshit fucking crazy cartoons possible. Just completely just uncaring if whoever thought about them. And sometimes I even start thinking just doing those on the side, something really retarded just for the sake of my own sanity.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you gotta have those kind of outlets of just like making shit just to make it, I mean, and hey, that was kind of for me like what Rat Bastards was at its inception, was I was like, I just want to get to, like channel that feeling again, just being like, just making, obviously with just like a little bit more refined kind of like, tastes of it, just being like, just making something that I think me and my friends would laugh at and that I, would have fun doing. Because that's, I don't know, when you get older, you start, turning art into your job or whatever, you got to have those like side things that like you're just doing just for, like now where it's like I do place a little more emphasis on Rat Bastards and like, getting it done and, making it like a, I don't know, just that's like kind of my calling or whatever when it comes to making art. Like, I still try and make time to just fucking doodle, just, like, stupid shit.
I mean, yeah,
like,
it
you
is fun.
You gotta work that muscle, too.
It is fun in itself without even having anything at the end of it. That's for sure. But I just mean sometimes I just want to, like, fucking take a microphone and start just saying stupid dialogues about something and then make shitty, almost Stickman type characters with retarded expressions. Just
the totally fucking blown out audio, is never not gonna make me laugh. I don't know.
It was really funny, and I wish I like I said, I wish I had downloaded more of them. You need to send me Seinfeld the Hedgehog 1 and 2 and make 3 someday.
Yeah, I have both Seinfeld the Hedgehog still. I'm positive of that.
Hell yeah.
What I think is a shame is that neither of us saved House of the Animators.
That is true. That is true.
I think that's like an actual like cultural fucking tragedy that
do you think any of the
those
guys?
are gone.
Do you think Oni or Corey or any of those guys have it? Because they were talking about it.
There's no way.
God damn it! Someone must have downloaded that because it was.
I feel like somebody must have, but that was so good, man.
Yeah, the House of the Animator. It was. I think it's so specific. If you were to show it to someone now, I don't know what would happen. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think anybody would get it, but that's kind of what's magical about it is that it's like it's only funny to, maybe a very specific subsect of people in like fucking 10 years ago, or but that's that's why it's funny. I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes there's some shit that's so specific that there's not a single person as an audience. You actually need to combine people. Like, you need this guy's knowledge of what this thing, and that guy's interest in the other thing, and you combine them, and that's your audience. And that's it.
Yeah.
But it's
what I liked about that was that even at the time, like, some of the people you were including in that were, like, kind of like deep cuts. You were just, like, choosing, like, just animators that, like, you wouldn't know if, like, you weren't like involved in the animation community.
It was so specific.
Yes.
Oh, it was really funny. Like you said, there's a bunch of freaking indie cartoons right now. Is there any of them you really like?
I mean, Bridge Kids. I'm biased, but that you brought up that Froginator guy.
Oh yeah, I love
earlier.
Froginator.
Like that shit's so cool. His stuff has been some of the stuff that has really, just like from a visual perspective, like really knocked me dead the past while.
He's got no subscribers. What the hell? That's so
severely underrated. I don't know. I feel like most stuff that comes to mind is like I thought about Aaron or Kogan, that one, but it's like I was pretty heavily involved in that one too. So that's a biased fucking, I don't know, like all the stuff that I'm on is like typically Friends stuff. I feel like Punch Forever,
yes,
ass.
Punch Forever.
Bobby Brewster's Good Woods is fucking amazing. Jamie R is always making some cool shit. Fucking the Golfino and Zendrekos. Like,
yes,
I've loved
who is Zendrekos? Who is Zendrekos? Who is that guy? He's like his protege.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got. I think he's just a guy that I don't know.
I just like the idea of Golfinho is such a specific style that he has like people emulating him now.
Yeah, well, what's cool about it is I feel like they have pretty distinct styles in and of themselves. Like I feel like you can kind of tell who animated.
Yeah, definitely can.
Which is cool. I like getting to see that because I feel like Golfino's is like. He makes things move a little bit more crazier and like they're a little bit more angular, and Zendrekos' stuff is more kind of like it's more like rounded and like a little more charming. I feel like.
Yeah, it's more a round guy. Zendrekos is more a round guy. You got to meet Richard Williams, right? When you were in SVA.
I didn't meet him. I just I attended like a screening thing of like Thief and the Cobbler.
Oh, like the one that was never aired, right? The one that never came out, like the... it was... he showed another one of his short films. Man, I haven't thought about that in fucking ages. He showed... I forget what it was. It was another short film he did, and then he showed, like, the work print, I think, of Thief and the Cobbler. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was it. Do you still have your Hair High poster?
The Cell? Yeah, I do. I don't have it hanging up, but I do have it. I've been meaning to get a frame for it.
I love Hair High. Is your favorite anime still Eva?
Yes, yeah. Evangelion is that it only ever gets better. I feel like the older I get, the more I find is to appreciate about it, and the more because you're a kid and you watch it, you're more like, wow, this is so it's like The Catcher in the Rye, of anime. But you get older and it's like there are so many interesting ideas presented and like done so I don't know, man. Like visually, like nothing is ever going to top that show, in my opinion. Like it's such a fucking phenomenal effort. Like,
have you ever seen Macross Plus?
No, let me look that up. That's a name.
You need to. I rewatched it yesterday, and that's like an absolute masterclass of what an anime can be, audio and visually. It's insane. It's insane how good it is.
Interesting. Yeah, how many episodes is it? Or is it a movie?
There's an OVA. It's like OVA is 5 episodes long. There's also a movie that compiles it in 2 hours. No, just look around and see which one you want to see. It's incredible. I love it.
Is this a robot show as well?
Yeah, but it's like 99% about the characters. It's like
nice.
The robot is just extra. Okay, the planes and the robots is just extra. It's incredible.
Cool. Yeah, thank you for the recommendation. I feel like I don't know. I'm always looking for new shit. I feel like I tend to. I've been checking out new stuff lately, but it's like I feel like I tend to default to watching the same stuff I always do.
That's also
I don't know,
good.
especially with shows like they're such an undertaking. I feel like I don't want to watch something unless I'm going to devote my full attention to it. I don't like having things on in the background. Because especially with animation or film or whatever, it's like
you don't want to miss a frame. You don't want to miss an animation.
Yeah, it's a visual medium. Like everything is intentional, and I want to be able to give it my fullest attention. But there's so little time in the day. I feel like to get, to sit down and give something your fullest attention. And when it comes to shows, they're so long most of the time that it can be hard to make time for it.
Yeah, that is true.
But I'll check it out.
I don't tend to watch that many shows. That is also correct. Oh yeah. Is for did you make is for Tumblr a real site?
No.
Yeah, I thought so. It's called for Tumblr. Did you finally realize a video game?
Yeah, I realized video games are cool.
I realize. Yeah. So, John.
Hey, speaking of video games, or wait, what are you gonna say?
Kingdom Hearts. Oh yeah, you played Kingdom Hearts, right?
No, well, I played. I was gonna ask you about Chrono Trigger, because I played Final Fantasy VII.
Oh.
I guess 2 years ago now, and or was it 2? I don't know.
Sounds like more. I think
It's
it's been more.
It's been a minute, but yeah, that was like, fucking life changing, like amazing. Like I don't know, one of the few pieces of media that really ever, like I don't know that I said when I finished it, it was like it felt like fucking the same feeling of like watching Ava for the first time or something.
Hell yeah.
Like it had that level of impact, and that really reminded me like what video games can be capable of.
You're saying
And then,
you're talking about 7, the original, right?
Yeah, the original
97.
7, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is in my top 5 Final Fantasies. It's in my my top 5.
I got just because I had like I don't know, like I had my fucking leg surgery and shit. Like I don't know, I was pretty.
Oh right.
So I played through all of that, and then I was like, because I didn't grow up with a PS1 or anything, so I went and I was like kind of playing through the game, the all-time classics that I never played or I never finished, and I played through Metal Gear Solid 1 because that was one that I never finished, and that was awesome too.
Yeah.
And then I got really into like I was like, oh, I want to like play all the classic JRPGs, so I started Final Fantasy VI, and then I never finished it, and then I just haven't really played video games.
Oh, okay. 6 is great. I also really like 6.
It was cool. I got a decent way into it, but then like life started getting busy again, and I just forgot. But Chrono Trigger is one where it's like that's one that I want to play before I die. I know you're a big fan.
That is my favorite
Chrono
game.
Cross.
That is my favorite game, Chrono Trigger. Chrono Cross. I don't know. Do you have 3 hours?
Oh, for this? Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
No, I'm just saying because Chrono Cross is very complicated for me to explain. I guess to try to. It's it's got a weird legacy because people don't see the connections with Chrono Trigger, but they are there. They're there. It's just Chrono Trigger seems way simpler than it actually is. There's like a lot of stuff under the surface, and that's precisely what Chrono Cross is about. And I think people did not expect that, so they look at other elements and they're like, this is barely even a sequel. But either way, it's like very, very, very beautiful game. Some of the best music, some of the best visuals.
Yeah, dude, that was what got me about Final Fantasy VII, was like just how incredible the soundtrack was, like how, again, striking like all the visuals were, and it's all done within the limitations of the hardware they had. You know, like it's so, I don't know, like I have watched and played a little bit of the remakes, and it's like, you know, while it is cool to kind of see Midgar and stuff realized in such high definition, it's like to me it totally loses the soul of like the original.
Yeah, pre-rendered backgrounds rule. Like the little guy walking around, all of these layered images.
Yeah,
it's so badass. I love it. I love it so
For
much.
Real.
Final Fantasy IX does it even better, I think. Like Final Fantasy IX is probably
Which one
the
is
peak
9?
of that.
Is that the one with Squall?
No, that's 8.
Yeah, I don't know anything about 9 then.
9 is kind of like, I think 9 is the creator's favorite. It's like a return to the more fantastical elements, and
interesting.
It's really good. It's really, really good. It's my third favorite Final Fantasy.
There was another Square RPG that I remember at that time sounded really interesting, and now that I remember what it looks like, but I can't remember the title. I think it was like space oriented.
Xenogears?
Yes. Xenogears,
dude, that game is like some of the most insane stories in any game ever made. It's so ambitious.
Yeah.
You have to like read the fucking Kabbalah and the Zohar and the Bible.
I was like looking into it. I was like, this seems fucking insane. I really want to play this.
Yeah. It's also a lot of... Honestly, that is the closest there is to a video game Evangelion, is Xenogears.
Interesting.
It's like, some of the stuff is actually a lot... There's some parts that you look at, it's like, I see we're inspired, huh? I see...
Yeah.
So there are some parts that are kind of like that.
Yeah. It's funny. I don't know, kind of coming... So one of my favorite shows when I was a kid was Digimon Tamers. I don't know, were you a Digimon fan?
Yeah, I was a Digimon fan. Ironically enough, I did not watch Tamers. I only watched Tamers later. But yes, I was a big Digimon fan.
Yeah, that was... I loved Tamers as a kid, and a couple years ago I tried rewatching it, and I was watching it and I was like, oh my god, this is all just Evangelion worship. Like, it's so on the nose about it. And I was like, so no wonder, years later when I got into Eva, that I was like, so immediately like, wow, I feel like I've seen this before. It's because I was
You know the writer for Digimon Tamers is the same guy who wrote for Serial Experiments Lane. Yeah.
Yes,
and
I think that's so cool too.
Technolize also, I think.
Yeah. I never finished the rewatching Tamers, but yeah. When I was watching it, I was like, I feel like this is one of the many reasons why I was like so drawn to like Eva, like just the concepts and the imagery and like everything was because when I was a kid, like that shit like really.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
There's a lot of things in Eva where it's like it's obviously an incredible story, incredible show, characters, but even there's like little details you only notice the second time.
Yes, no, that's what's absolutely fantastic about it is I've seen it. I watched there's an interview with Scorsese the other day, and he was talking about like, the sign of a good movie is, you grow up and you change and you come back to it, and there's always something new. The movie changes with you, and that's what I love about Eva is that it's I've seen it so many times, and every single time there's something new to appreciate, something new that captures my attention or gives me something to think about, or I walk away from it thinking about it in a different way, or even visually there's something I pick up on where I'm like, oh wow, I never caught that before. That's cool.
Yeah, that does happen a lot. Like I think a lot of people, for example, skip the part where Gendo has like the thing in his hand because it's so fast.
Yeah,
like that shot that he has added. Anyway, yeah, definitely a lot of those games have those elements too that you really don't quite notice it the first time. Chrono Cross being one of them. Yeah, so okay, John. Now for serious business. We need to talk about the situation, about the thing getting crazy, John.
What's that?
We need to talk about the situation. Okay,
What's
here's
the situation.
We need to put things in place. We need to put really go down in history to see what happens. Tread back propagate.
Okay.
Have a descent into how things got to be this way before we verge into the plains of madness. Okay?
Okay.
So here's the situation. Here's the timeline. How many episodes do you have planned for Rat Bastards?
So right now, we're doing episode 3. I would say that one is like close to like 90% done.
Oh, really? That's the one I did the thing for.
No, you did it for episode 4.
Oh, so there's already 2 more. Okay.
So what I did is after the first one, I started, I like wrote, boarded, and recorded like 4 more of them, and you know, I'm realizing at this point, you know, while it is effective in helping you like get shit done, you know, like it kind of mitigates the kind of slump you get between episode, you know, it keeps it so you're like always productive, always like getting something going towards this you know, goal of getting these cartoons out there. However, you know, I'm at a point now where it's like, you know, I wrote these episodes like fucking 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know, I feel like as I've lived with the characters more, you know, I feel like they've developed even more, and there's more ideas that I want to do, and you know, but I'm gonna see episode 3 is like I said, 90% done. We're like, you know, you did the layouts and stuff for episode 4, and then there's a decent bit of animation done on that one. And then there was episode 5, which was supposed to be, you know, if we're talking about these episodes as like, you know, a mock, like, quote unquote season, like that was going to be like the season finale. However, I don't know. I'm at a point now with that one where that was actually originally going to be kind of the episode 2. I wrote that one first out of all of them. I think I don't know. I'm still figuring out what I want to do, but I'm at a point where I'm like, you know, I'm more conscious of how long these take, and I'm like, you know, you can only make so many cartoons before you die, right? And there was another script that was part of this batch we wrote, right?
Okay.
Where I was like, you know, it was that one, and then the current episode 5, right? And they both kind of had this sort of sense of finality to them, where I was like, you know, you can't have both. Like, one of them has to kind of be the quote, like, season finale, and then we'll do the other one. So I went with kind of the lower stakes one out of the 2, just because I was more hyped on that idea at the time. But the more I've kind of walked away from it, that script that we kind of shelved, that's one of the ones where I'm like, you know, this is one of the things that I have to do, right? Like, this is one of the things I have to say, and you can't. I don't know. The fact that I keep thinking about it and being like, there's something about that one that I really need to do and get out there. You know, I'm thinking maybe after we finish episode 4, I might kind of just start from scratch and make that one the episode 5. But we'll have to see.
Okay. So
there
is an episode 5.
Yes. Yeah.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking they take quite a while, so I didn't know how many you had planned. But there's episode 3 already. That's pretty cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been cool. Episode 3 is like, I don't know, I mean, as you know, cartoons take a million years, and you're living with them all day. So, like, you know, I've been working on this one for I don't know how long. So it's at the point where I'm like, you know, you've seen it so many times it doesn't hit the same anymore. But there are so many moments. I think this one is really going to people are going to be hyped on it. There's, like, I don't want to spoil anything, but, like, I feel like when this one is the series high point visually at so many different parts of it.
Episode 3?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think, yeah, like some of the folks we have animating on this one are like, I look at, I'll tell you after the stream just because I don't want to spoil it in advance, but it's like, you know, combinations of animators where I'm like, God damn, that's so, like, it's so fucking cool, like, seeing all of these guys that I really look up to and respect, like, all collaborate together.
Oh, so it's like a
fucking
multi.
cool
You have
thing.
more animators doing their own thing here on this one.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Well,
great.
it's still in the Rat Bastard style, you know, but it's like I feel like you'll be able to pick out like, oh, so and so did that, and you know, it's the montage for this episode, both the song and the visuals is like my favorite Rat Bastards related thing we've done so far.
It's going on. It's going on a Sakugabaru.
Honestly, a lot of the parts in it could very well. Like I was going frame by frame on one of them last night, and I was just like, holy shit, man! Like they really knocked it dead.
Hell yeah! Can't wait because there's also new songs every episode, so that's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, this one has a lot of my favorite. This one, so episode 1 was a little more like straightforward, kind of like old metalcore, and then episode 2, you know, we took in a little more like kind of emo-y, post-hardcore direction, and then this one is more kind of like grind, like screamo-y. I think the main song, because I give like kind of reference tracks to Tyler when he's writing the music for each of them for like kind of the vibe I'm going for. This one, you know, the songs were like, you know, Pig Destroyer and like Weekend Nachos and like all these like, you know, really fucking like heavy ones. And then episode 4, the one that.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask if you could do a pig squeal.
Can I?
Yeah, I'm asking.
I can try. I've never tried. I can try.
Oh God.
Now. No.
Yeah, like I think it's hard. It's very hard.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, just gotta go. Yeah, exactly. That's what it sounds. Oh God. Yeah. Damn. I think do I have you belled on YouTube.com so I know when? Well, you let me know once it's out.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna go up on Newgrounds. It goes up on Newgrounds like a week.
Oh yeah,
in advance.
yeah. Flickernicked is gone. Now it's just your name, right?
Yeah.
So, what is your Newgrounds so people can know it?
My Newgrounds is just Jonathan, Jonathan.
Just John. Oh, you're right. Somehow there's not that many Jonathans on Newgrounds.
No, Tom was just fucking an angel and let me have that name.
Oh yeah, you asked him?
Yeah, it's been a minute, but
damn.
I think I forgot. I think I asked him or Ivan because I noticed like the account Jonathan had been somebody made it in like 2005 and like never used it, so I was like, can I have it?
Yeah, no. Well, I'm officially following you on the Newgrounds. Which site?
Thanks.
Okay, it is a funny question. Which site you think is gonna die first, YouTube or Newgrounds?
I think YouTube honestly is going to implode. I feel like it's progressing at such a crazy rate that I don't know. Actually, I feel like YouTube is such a household name at this point that you know it might never go away. But it's like even the YouTube of 5 years ago, or well, maybe 7-8 years ago, versus the YouTube of today. It's like YouTube is. You're basically just watching like fucking commercials. Like that's
Yeah.
what YouTube is now, is commercials.
That's kind of what I mean.
I feel like it's not a sustainable platform.
I feel like at some point they're just gonna remove the upload button.
Yeah, right. Like, or it's only going to be like,
Yeah,
it's just going to be the replacement of TV, you know. But
exactly.
Which it already is, but it's going to be even more so. I think like Newgrounds has stuck around this long. I don't think it's ever going to die.
Yeah, it's literally like. It's probably one of the few sites that stuck to its principles, but also it's running on behemoth money. Continuously draining, continuously going down. That's what's keeping it up.
That's why I got so much respect for Tom and Newgrounds, is the fact that it never compromised, it never fucking buckled to like any, you know, and you know, they never sold out what their principles were. You know, at the end of the day, it's still just fucking a site for creative people to just.
It is very, very rare to see a company with principles now.
And yeah, and the fact that it's stuck around as long as it has, it's like, you know, it's inspiring.
It's gonna be 30 years old this year.
30?
Yeah, because it started in '95
Wow.
as Stoneful's personal website, right? Only then only '99 it opened up for the public, but it started in '95, so it's gonna be 30 years old.
Hell yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah,
30-year-old
next year.
website.
Next year is the 10-year anniversary of my Newgrounds tank tattoo.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Wow. It's been a while. Did you
Getting old.
Did you have it in 26? No, next. Yeah, 2016. That was the year. Yeah,
I got it summer 2016.
Yeah, I remember now. I remember. Okay, last question. What would you do if Mr. Beast gave you $1 million? What would you do with the $1 million?
I mean, I was trying to think of a funny answer, but honestly, I would just fucking I would just work on Rap Bastards all day. Like, that's all I want to do. I would, I don't know. Mr. Beast is from here. I should just show up at his house.
Wait, he is from there?
It's from North Carolina, yeah.
Wow.
I forget where from, but it's I think a couple hours from me.
You should just be pretend to be a homeless person around that place, just so he decides to make a video. You guys are gonna trample over homeless people, and some of them will maybe get 500,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you know he's the Antichrist, right?
I know very little about Mr. Beast. I know his thumbnails where he
I don't know anything about him, but I know he's the Antichrist.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like if there were to be one, it would probably be him.
I mean, it's
with what little
name.
I know.
It's literally in the name, Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna let you go and rest up.
Okay.
Okay, guys, this has been Rodin with Jonathan on Animators React to Viral Videos. I mean, Animators interview...
Animators react to Mr. Beast.
And Animator. I haven't figured out the name. We need to just come up with it right now and just end it. Animator...
Dude, I'm horrible with names.
Bye, guys. This was Jonathan,
Goodbye.
Sherin. Wait, Jonathan, Sherin. Why do I keep saying Jonathan? Okay. Alright, this has been Jonathan. John, say goodbye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Alright.
On your show.
Go watch Rat Bastards right now. Immediately.
Thanks.
And Bridge Kids also. 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 Bridge Kids also.
Hey, let's go and get some soup. Hey, let's get the soup. Later at soup. Hey, I want soup. No soup for you. Soup Nazi the Hedgehog. Will Seinfeld get the soup? Find out next time on Seinfeld the Hedgehog.